Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week Wisdom and Legacy Building podcast. Today is day 491 of our trek, and it is Wisdom Wednesday. Every Wednesday along Life's Trail, we will dig for the nuggets of wisdom that are found in the book of Proverbs. Today, we will explore the second half of chapter 24. We are broadcasting from our studio at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. On the day this podcast is released, Paul and I will be heading to Arizona to work with our partners on our construction project in Mesa. Phase 1 of the project is winding down, and we are starting to plan for Phase 2. The beginning of the next phase is dependent on sales of the units that are currently built, so the actual start date is not known for sure. Since our company is the general contractor and not the actual developer, we do have some other projects that may fill in the gap between the two phases. Planning is so important on a project large or small, and King Solomon was considered one of the greatest builders of all time. He addresses this in the passage that we are exploring today, when in verse number 27 he says, "Do your planning." But let's back up and start with verses 17 and 18. "Don't rejoice when your enemies fall. Don't be happy when they stumble. For the Lord will be displeased with you and will turn his anger away from them." Our natural tendencies are to rejoice or gloat when something bad happens to those who have hurt us or are against us. We should do the opposite, though. We should love them, help them, and pray for them. God may be taking them through a time of testing to bring them to Him. If we rejoice and gloat, God will be displeased with our action and turn His trials away from them. Verses 19 and 20. "Don't fret because of evildoers, and don't envy the wicked, for evil people have no future, and the light of the wicked will be snuffed out." It's so easy to get caught up with the lifestyles and habits of those who desire to do evil. It may even be attractive to us at times. We should not be fooled. Those who practice evil have no hope because their hope and faith is based in falsehood. Verses 20 and 21. "My child, fear the Lord and the king. Don't associate with rebels, for disaster will hit them suddenly. Who knows what punishment will come from the Lord and the king?" We can be comforted to know that God has control of the leaders of every country. He allows certain leaders to be in power and others to be disposed. We should not rise up with those who rebel against God's permitted authorities. This is especially true in free countries, where we have the opportunity to vote and participate in the process. If we do associate with those who rebel, we should not be surprised if we also suffer the consequences of our actions. Verses 20 through 25. Here are some further sayings of the wise. "It is wrong to show favoritism when passing judgment. A judge who says to the wicked, 'You are innocent,' will be cursed by many people and denounced by the nations. It will go well for those who convict the guilty. Rich blessings will be showered on them." Injustice in any setting is disliked by God. This is especially true when it happens in the legal system. God is justice, and we are created in His image, so justice should be very important to us. Justice should be important to us in all situations. When we take justice seriously and practice it, then we will be blessed in many ways throughout our lives. Verse number 26. "An honest answer is like a kiss of friendship." As we have referred to previously, honesty is always the best policy. To be honest and compassionate is like having a close friend you can depend on and trust. Verse number 27. "Do your planning and prepare your fields before building your house." This is an interesting verse because common thinking would be to build shelter first. Solomon was the wisest person of all time, and he had a different thought. In planning, if you invest the time to build your house first, then you will miss the planting season, and therefore you'll not be able to harvest in the right season. The logic is to prepare fields first, and while the crops are growing, then you would have time to build your house. And once the house is built, then it will be time to harvest. The logic is there when you think like a farmer and practice the law of planting and harvesting. Verses number 28 and 29. "Don't testify against your neighbor without cause. Don't lie about them. And don't say, 'Now I can pay them back for what they have done to me. I will get even with them.'" We are not to be deceptive to family, friends, or anyone that we know. We should not create rumors or tell lies about anyone. We should never seek retribution against others, even if they have wronged us. Several passages in the Bible tells us that God will provide justice. We do not have to seek retribution ourselves. And the last passage is verses 30 through 34. "I walked by the field of a lazy person, the vineyard of one with no common sense. I saw that it was overgrown with nettles and covered with weeds, and its walls were broken down. Then I looked and thought about it, and I learned this lesson. A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of hands to rest. Then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit, and scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. The final section of Proverbs 24 speaks in depth about one who is lazy. First, Solomon equates a lazy person to someone who has no common sense. A lazy person is easy to spot because their lives and their responsibilities will show evidence of a lazy lifestyle. The example given here is their property will be overgrown and not taken care of. We can learn a lesson here. A person who is lazy will not fulfill their responsibilities, and as a result, they will be overtaken with poverty, as surely as a bandit or robber will steal from an unexpected victim. Well, today we explored 8 more wise sayings, which leaves us with much more to consider. Next Wisdom Wednesday, we will continue on the trail of more Proverbs that were assembled by King Hezekiah. These Proverbs continue to provide us with more wisdom, insight, and understanding. And regardless of where you are on your faith walk, if the precepts of the Proverbs are followed, your life will be rich and satisfying. So I encourage you to take them and plant them in your heart so that you'll reap a rich harvest of wisdom. Tomorrow we will hike another short trail in our Wisdom Unplugged series, where we will discover an inspirational wisdom quote. So encourage your friends and family to join us, and then come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. That will finish our trek for today. Just as you enjoy these daily doses of wisdom, we ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your friends and family through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us each day. And I would challenge you today to take just one precept that we learned in today's Proverbs and commit yourself to applying it to your life. The journal for today's trek is available at wisdom-trek.com, and thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.